Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Hope everyone's doing fine. Can everybody hear me okay?
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Yes, I can hear you well, Your Honor.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Good afternoon. Let's see, reset dates for the state all-purpose is going to be March 8th. And what case are we going to need Madam Interpreter on today?
Your Honor, I have not been told. I'm here to check if I will be needed since Mr. Michael Jordan and Ms. Cardita Cook are out of the office. So I want to make sure that I won't be needed today.
Okay, Ms. Kim or Ms. Gant, are you all anticipating needing the interpreter for any of your cases?
I will not, Your Honor.
I do it, Your Honor.
Okay, and are you all the only PDs that are handling cases today?
One more conflict attorney, but we have not received any email about who is actually assigned as a conflict attorney yet.
Okay, and what case is that?
I believe that was Basil number 1, case number 1, position number 1.
Okay, so Madam Interpreter, if you will just hang on for us, if you don't mind, until
No problem. My pleasure.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Good afternoon, courtroom 2.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Hey.
Okay. Good afternoon. We're ready whenever you all are.
Yeah, this is Mr. Alex Griffin, Your Honor. I got him in the courtroom by himself, so you already know.
Okay, and Mr. Griffin's the one that we spoke of yesterday, Ms. Falk?
Yes, Your Honor. Ms. Guidry will actually be handling the hearing.
Yes, Your Honor, I believe we need a breakout room for that case.
Okay, let's do that quickly if we can, because I know that there's an issue. So the three of us, he's going to be unrepresented, I think, right?
That is correct, Your Honor.
Okay. If Ms. Champion, I think that you're handling this afternoon, is that correct?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Okay, can you put us in a breakout room, please?
Yes.
Yeah, see right here.
I went to a breakout room, but I returned.
I'm sorry.
Can I say something to the judge, ma'am? My real lawyer is Latrice Collins, and they gave me some more charges. I'm trying to figure out what charges are we handling because he's calling some new charges. They're not giving me my charges properly.
Okay.
I have no felonies. They keep saying I have a felony. That's what it's all been about.
Okay, this isn't a felony, Mr. Griffin. Good afternoon. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. You've been charged with a simple battery case in
Against who?
22 CR 000683B.
Against who?
Hold on. What is the alleged victim's name, Ms. Guidry?
Cody Davis.
It's against Mr. Cody Davis.
Yes.
Who is that?
Okay.
We will try to jump me.
Yes, we'll tell you. We'll tell you, Mr. Griffin. So let me.
From my understanding.
Okay. So if we can go into a breakout room, please.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm sorry. So, Mr. Griffin.
Guardian Angel, Griffin, New Jersey. I am a guardian angel. I do private security for all the women on the west side, Job Corps, Westlake, Guardian Angel, Alex Griffin, Prince Hall, Auburn Avenue, Dead Apple, Black History Month.
Very, very good, Mr. Griffin. Courtroom 2, it's going to be $1,000 good bond with the mental health evaluation, okay?
Oh, and no further violent contact?
And yeah, we have that here, and it'll be no further violent contact with Mr. Davis.
Your Honor,
Yes,
can you tell him his charge? Because he's
Yeah,
not
sure.
going to get out this chair unless he knows what his charge is.
okay.
Please send me my discovery or whatever list of charges. I have no idea what they wrote down. Man, sorry, let me say this. As a man, Prince Hall, they tried to jump on me. There's no more games in here. I defended myself and won the fight.
All right, you done?
No, I got to hear this is judge. I got to hear what I'm in charge with.
Okay.
My life.
If you stop
Mr.
talking,
No, I've been in here all year. They've been jumping on me. They've been losing the fight. I don't know what they're writing down. I'm in handcuffs.
Your Honor, you finished with him?
I'm done. I mean, if you all are,
No, I need to talk.
if he'll let me speak, I'm happy to talk with him, courtroom 2, but he's going to have to, Mr. Griffin, you're going to have to be quiet so I can speak.
Dismiss this dude.
Go ahead.
I got
Okay.
kids to feed on the street in real life.
Okay, Mr. Griffin, may I speak?
Go ahead.
Okay, so that's what you're requesting. So you've been charged with this case is a simple battery, and it's allegedly against a person that was a mental health person there in the
A
jail.
gang member.
Cody Davis, he works there, I believe.
I don't know. Cody, who is Cody Davis?
He's a mental health person that works there.
Man, that's fake.
Okay,
Dude,
courtroom
I
2.
got all the story, man.
I
That
don't
didn't
know.
happen like that.
All
That
right,
didn't happen like
let's go.
that.
Let's go.
See, they try to
You
kill
gotta give me
me.
a couple minutes, Your Honor.
Okay, take your time. We will be in recess, I guess, until, I take it we don't have anyone at,
South Annex, Your Honor.
thank you, Ms. Fall.
I'm not seeing any female defendants on this list, so I'm thinking no.
Okay, and Attorney Ben Sadah, do you have a case on the calendar?
Can you hear me, Judge? There you go.
Yes. Hey, good afternoon.
Great afternoon, Your Honor. Yes, I do. I have a Jonathan Bazil.
Okay, and is he gonna require an interpreter?
No, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. So we'll get back. I just wanted to make sure we have an interpreter on the line, and I didn't know if she was going to be needed today. So since we've established that no one's going to need her, I'm going to dismiss her. So thank you.
All right. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Madam Interpreter. I appreciate you being here.
You're welcome, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right,
Bye-bye.
see you next time.
Yes, sir.
And we'll be in recess until courtroom. Oh, here we go. That was quick. All right, very good.
Have a seat right here. I don't have a calendar, Judge. Good afternoon, but the
Good
first thing
afternoon.
we're gonna be doing is Mr. Guerrero Rodriguez.
So that's
Okay.
going to be position 5, Your Honor.
Good afternoon, Mr. Guerrero Rodriguez. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes.
Thank you. You've been charged in case 22 CR 0000906H with giving false name, address, or birth date to law enforcement officer. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
This is the fifth. He has 5 total cycles. I got September 2020, suspended license out of College Park. August 2020, misdemeanor possession of marijuana, suspended license. That was out of Hearing County. Another August 2020 obstruction, suspended license. He was cited January 2020 in the Army for wrongful use of marijuana. And a resident of Ohio, according to the booking sheet.
Okay. Thank you. Who's presenting for state?
I am Jose Escuela.
Good afternoon. How are you today?
I'm doing pretty well, thank you.
Good. You can proceed.
Okay, the date of offense is in February 19th, 2022, and the location it happened was in Grady Hospital, located at 80 Jesse Hill Jr. Drive. The officers arrived at the hospital room because of a gunshot wound, in which the defendant was very vague about how he got the wound. He stated he was not from this area and did not know the location of where he got shot. When officers came to interview him, he gave a false name and a date of birth. And during this time, he lied repeatedly. When officers came to try to verify his name, he gave the name Marquise Anderson and stated that his year of birth was in 2005, but gave no specific month. And at some point, he even said he was a Gemini. When the second officer came to interview him, he gave his birthday as being in May and June 2005. All this information differed with the hospital's information, which had the name of Juliana Burnett. Then the defendant spoke with a second officer and gave his real name and date of birth. Using this information, the officers found that he had outstanding warrants from Henry County. Your Honor, the state is requesting that he get a $2,000 surety bond and that he abstain from alcohol, drugs, and weapons. Our recommendation is based on the facts of his case, as well as the concern that he has a lack of community ties and that he could be a flight risk. On these points specifically, he gave the police officers a false name and did it both multiple times. He stated he's not from this area and is in fact from Ohio. He's also a citizen of the Dominican Republic, and we are concerned that if he's out on bail, he could just fly back to the Dominican Republic. And not only that, he has outstanding warrants for Henry County for failure to appear in court and for driving with a suspended and revoked license in August 2020. We also like to note that Henry County will not be willing to pick him up on these outstanding warrants. And we believe that he gave out these false information because of these outstanding warrants. And we are worried that he will mostly not return if he's let out. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Gant?
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Mr. Mario Guerrero Rodriguez is 25 years old. He is in fact a resident of Ohio. However, he has community ties here. He has a 1-year-old son. He states that he returned to this area to take care of the Henry County matter regarding a suspended license. Mr. Rodriguez completed high school. He is currently a student. He is working on his associate's degree in business management. Your Honor, he is unemployed and will unable to be able to make any bond at this time. He disputes the allegation, Your Honor. As the state presented, he was at Grady Hospital being cared for a gunshot wound to his right leg. He stated that he was in severe pain. He was confused. And that he recalls being cooperative and given the correct information. It was just that second detective, he states, that tried to give him a hard time and skew the facts and represent them as something that he stated. Your Honor, he is unable to receive the proper care that he needs for that gunshot wound. He states that he was prescribed antibiotics and pain medications, and that today was the first day that he was able to get his medications. Your Honor, I am requesting again a signature bond for Mr. Guerrero so that he may be released to take care of the matter. And he also stated that he has hired counsel to assist in that matter in Henry County as well, Your Honor. And for these reasons, again, I'm requesting the signature bond. Thank you.
All right, it'll be a $1,000 signature bond through the jail and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck, Mr. Guerrero Rodriguez.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Who's next?
Mr. Ronald Dorsey.
That's position number 2. Good afternoon, Mr. Dorsey. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes.
Thank you. You've been charged in case 22 CR 000907A with criminal trespass and damage to property and simple battery. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
My coworker has that file. He wouldn't have filled in it earlier. State, you have it, or do I need to go get it?
I have it. Your Honor, he has 10 arrests, convictions for battery 2009, first offender, willful obstruction 2017, driving without a license 2017, fleeing or attempting to elude 2017, driving without a valid license 2017, and a battery family violence conviction from 2019. He also has 3 open cases. 22 CP 206817 for simple battery that was upgraded this morning to a battery family violence. 22 CP 206822 for criminal trespass, simple battery, 2 counts, aggravated assault. And 22 CP 206820 for battery and cruelty to the elderly. Those are all open.
And what did he go to felony for today?
Should have been the battery family violence this morning that we transferred.
Okay,
And he got no bond on that, from what I was just told.
okay, thank you. You can continue, excuse me.
Okay, Your Honor, this event occurred on January 12th, 2021 at 3000 Continental Colony Parkway, apartment F141, Atlanta. Officers responded to the area. It was learned that the defendant and Miss Aurelia, that's Arelia Favors, common spelling, were having a verbal argument when the defendant punched Miss Favors in the head several times with a closed fist. The defendant then snatched Miss Favors' phone from her hand, then slammed it to the ground, causing the screen to shatter. We would like to note that officers did state that there was a minor injury that occurred. However, they didn't state what the specific injury was, so it was not upgraded to a battery. Your Honor, he currently has a $1,500 surety bond, $500 for the criminal trespass, and $1,000 for the simple battery. We're recommending for count 1, $1,000 surety, for count 2, a $5,000 surety, for a total of $6,000. No further contact with Aurelia Favors, a stay away from the incident location. 1 day anger awareness, and no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. Your Honor, this is largely due to the defendant's recent spew of batteries that he's committed upon multiple individuals. Just to give a brief fact, the one that was transferred this morning that we received occurred on April 7th of 2021, where he punched his aunt in the face because he was upset and pulled out a gun on her 16-year-old son. The simple battery, 2 counts, and aggravated assault, which occurred on November 25th, 2021, he slammed his mother against a flower stand and punched her in the face twice, causing multiple injuries to her face, and punched his sister in the face several times and cut her with an object because he wanted $5. Your Honor, just recently on the 20th of February, 2 days ago, he punched a 64-year-old man in the face several times over $10. The 64-year-old man sustained swelling and lacerations at the Best American Hotel. Your Honor, he was apprehended yesterday due to him going back, even after he knew he committed these acts. Your Honor, we're highly concerned for the danger of the community, given that he continues to commit acts, not only against his family, not only against his girlfriend in this case, but against individuals of the community at a hotel. So we are sure that he will reoffend, and he is a danger to the community. And a $5,000 bond is the least that we can do to prevent further harm to the community. That's why we're asking for the stated recommendation.
Thank you, Ms. Kim.
Yes, Mr. Dorsey is 31 years old, and he has a really good relationship with Miss Favors now. He said that his girlfriend is not afraid of him anymore. He's self-employed. He has been a barber, cutting hairs for about last 8 years. And he graduated from high school. He has been here in Georgia for 31 years. His entire family is here. He has a 10-year-old daughter as well. So he has a strong ties to the community. And understanding the fact that he has felony cases outstanding right now, we don't think whichever we get, surety bond does not make a huge difference in a sense. So we would like to keep $1,500 surety bond same. Even with that, he's not going to be able to get out of the jail. So I think that is more than enough, Your Honor.
All right, for the criminal damage to property, $1,000 good. For the simple battery, a $3,000 good, making a total of a $4,000 good. No further contact with Ms. Faber. Stay away from the 3000 Continental address. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Dorsey.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Next, we have Mr. Stephen Price.
Move on.
Position 7, Mr. Price. Good afternoon, Mr. Price. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Sir.
Thank you. You've been charged in case 22 CR 000898Y with terroristic threats. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
Judge, I'm gonna defer to the state on this one. I wasn't sure if the history I had was the defendant.
Oh, well, we're showing, if it is the history where we're showing a history out of Maryland, New Jersey, and Delaware, then yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Your Honor, the defendant's history spans from 1987 to 2019 in Pennsylvania. He was convicted in the 80s in Pennsylvania of an aggravated assault, and then had a dismissed strangulation, robbery, false imprisonment, and aggravated assault in 2019. We also show that he has charges from 2017 in Maryland, 2018 in New Jersey, and he is a fugitive from another state warrant from 2017 in Delaware. The charges in both New Jersey and Maryland, to my recollection, are not violent offenses, which is why the state did not go into detail on them in our side. But the charges out of Pennsylvania all were violent offenses for the most part. And that conviction in the conviction in the 1980s was, just to be more specific, prohibited offensive weapons, possessing an instrument of crime, let's see, simple assault, aggravated assault, multiple counts of aggravated assault, reckless endangerment, disorderly conduct, and that was in June of 1988, and he received 23 months, it looks like between 6 and 23 months in prison. He then had a 1990 case where he was charged with possessing an instrument of crime, simple assault, aggravated assault, reckless endangerment, theft by taking, that he entered a plea in February of 1991 and received 1 year of state probation. We're also showing he had a contempt for violation of order in 2013. And then again, Your Honor, that 2019 dismissal of charges, including false imprisonment, aggravated assault, theft by unlawful taking, simple assault, and reckless endangerment. So, Your Honor, in this case, what occurred was that the victim, Miss Nicole Trower, that's Nicole, common spelling, Trower, Trower, responded to the Zone 4 front desk on April 24th, 2021. And she went there in reference to a DV assault that happened at the residence that she shared with the defendant at 1125 Dolphin Drive, Southwest, apartment 19. She has been with that live-in boyfriend, the defendant, for approximately 7 years. But as you can see, the majority of it appears to have been out of state. She stated to police that they had gotten into an argument about her not wanting to give him money, and that during the argument, he walked over to her and punched her in the left ear side of her head, causing swelling and bruising to her ear. Officers actually observed the pictures of the swelling and bruising to her ear. She initially told police that the reason she didn't call the police that day was because she was able to leave the residence safely. So this incident happened on the 22nd. She reported on the 24th. And while the officers were actually investigating the incident on the 22nd, they found a 911 call from the 24th where Ms. Trowers had called police to that same residence, the 1125 Dolphin Drive address, to have a police escort assist her in retrieving her belongings. While the officer was with Ms. Trowers, the officer on the 24th was with her, helping her retrieve her belongings. The defendant was present at the scene, became hostile toward her and the officer, and stated in the presence of the officer that he was going to smash her fucking face in with the goddamn flower pot. At the time he made the threat, Your Honor, the officer actually noted that he was standing within arm's reach of a flower pot that was sitting on the ground. And I know that the defense is going to say that these are merely allegations. However, just to give the benefit of this, not only did the officer hear the threat being made to Ms. Trowers, he actually recorded it on his body cam as well. So we have both video recording of this threat as well as the officer's testimony that he heard the threat himself. As I have stated, Your Honor, this defendant has criminal history out of Pennsylvania, out of New Jersey, out of Maryland, and out of Delaware. The most recent offenses, again, were the 2017 in Maryland, 2018 in New Jersey, that fugitive from another state warrant from 2017 in Delaware, and those dismissed charges of strangulation, robbery, false imprisonment, and aggravated assault in 2019. However, his convictions, although old in Pennsylvania, also show a violent history, as he's had 2 previous aggravated assault convictions, as well as this dismissed charge for aggravated assault. For all of those reasons, as well as just the fact that somebody can be so emboldened in a relationship that they would threaten the safety of the victim in front of an officer wearing a body cam, we are asking for a $3,000 surety bond on this battery and a $2,000 surety bond for the terroristic threats, for a total of $5,000 of surety bond. We are further asking for no further contact with Nicole Trower. This incident did happen back in April of 2021. So we are unsure if Ms. Trower, and if she was able to get all of her items out of the home, if she is not still living at 1125 Dolphin Drive, then we will not ask for a stay away. If she does need to retrieve her items, we would ask for a one-time escort, but we have not been able to successfully, our victim advocate has not been able to make contact with Ms. Trower at this time.
Ms. Falk, my calendar only lists the terroristic threats charge. Was a battery charge added?
Position number 8.
Oh, my apologies, Your Honor. I thought they listed.
No, I have it. They're not listed together. They're listed separate.
Yes, they are separate charges, Your Honor, because they are in 2 separate dates. However, there is some connection between the 2.
Okay, and so $3,000 for the battery, and what for the terroristic threats?
$2,000 for the terroristic threats, for a total of $5,000.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Gant.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Stephen Price is 56 years old. He has been in the Atlanta area since April of 2020. He has a 36-year-old daughter and 4 grandkids, all under age 15. Your Honor, we are opposed to the stay away at 1125 Dolphin Drive Southwest. That is Mr. Price's residence. He states that Ms. Nicole Trower no longer lives there. She has since relocated to Delaware. My client completed high school, and he also studied a trade, tractor trailer, technical training. Your Honor, he is unemployed and has been so since April of 2020. Therefore, he will not be able to make bond. I am requesting a signature bond for Mr. Price, primarily because we did hear a lot of his history. He acknowledges the 1990 matter in Pennsylvania for aggravated assault, and he states that was in defense of his 4-year-old daughter as she had been violated. Your Honor, Mr. Price denies these allegations, and he's anxious to defend against them. We did not hear about any recent violent history, and furthermore, we did not hear about any recent FTAs. And for these reasons, Your Honor, I am requesting a signature bond. And again, we are opposed to the stay away, but not to no contact, as he is not in contact with Ms. Thrower now. Thank you.
All right. So for the terroristic threats, it's going to be a $500 good bond. For the battery, it's going to be a $1,000 good bond, makes a total of a $1,500 good bond. No further contact with Ms. Trower, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Price.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we have Jonathan Bazil.
Good afternoon, Mr. Brazil. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Brazil, you've been charged in case 22 CR 000900D with battery, substantial physical harm, and theft by taking. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
It's his fifth adult arrest. Last arrest was on the 18th of this month, Cherokee County. Misdemeanor possession of marijuana. Forgery in the second, 4 counts. Possession of a knife or a firearm during the commission. Possession of a Schedule 1 or 2 controlled substance with intent. So that's open. He's on probation for burglary in the first degree and robbery out of Cherokee. 2018, they gave him 5 years to serve, 15 years probation. I'll leave it at that.
Deidre?
Yes, Your Honor. This case occurred on September 18th of 2020 at 4375 Cascade Road, apartment D36, South Fulton. Officers responded to the location. They spoke with Ms. Savannah Howell, common spelling. She stated that she let the defendant stay the night, and as he was getting ready to leave, she noticed that the defendant had hacked her phone and used Zelle to send himself $250. She confronted the defendant about the money. They began to argue, and when she asked him to leave, he started punching her in the face. She suffered a laceration to her lip and was bleeding from the mouth. When the police arrived, the defendant was not on scene. Your Honor, we're asking for a $3,500 surety bond for count 1, for count 2, $1,000 surety bond, for a total of $4,500. No further contact with Savannah Howell, a stay away from the incident location, 1-day anger awareness, and no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. This is largely due to the defendant's criminal history, as pre-trial has stated. He does have a burglary conviction out of Cherokee County and a robbery conviction. At that time, he was also charged with armed robbery, but it was amended. Also, as pre-trial has stated, he has an open case out of Cherokee County for possession of a firearm and 4 counts of forgery. So he's not new to thefts or receiving stolen things. So we're concerned for the danger of the community, given that he continues to commit these types of acts, and the nature of the crime of the battery, given that he punched the victim in the face due to himself taking her money, Your Honor. So due to those facts and his criminal history, we're asking for the stated bond.
All right, thank you, Ms. Deidre. Mr. Ben Shadar?
Yes, Your Honor. Great afternoon. Just to give you a little bit about Mr. Brazil, he is 21 years old. As the state and pretrial did mention, of course, his criminal history. These are charges that are old, the more serious ones. The armed robbery that was reduced to a robbery. He was 16 at the time, so he was in custody, I believe, in county for 2 years, and then they reduced the charge from armed robbery to robbery. When this incident happened, he was arrested, I think a week or so later. The warrant didn't come out until, I believe, October. So he did currently about 18 months in jail after following this incident. So well over the allotted time that he can get for this. I believe it's going to be something that, of course, is going to be closed out. But for these purposes here today, he does own his own business. It's a heating and air. So although he has a little colorful past, he was able to get out and open his own business doing HVAC, and that's in Cherokee County. He does live in Canton, Georgia. That will be 200 Cantonberry Ridge, apartment 203, Canton, Georgia, 30114. So as stated, Your Honor, he has been in for 17 months, going on 18 months. He would like to, of course, get this all behind him. I don't disagree with the state. Maybe we can add the anger management for now, but for these purposes, we're asking for a lower bond. He has been out of work for well over a year, definitely going on 2. So we'd ask for a $1,500 surety, Your Honor, for this matter. He'll definitely stay away from the incident, stay away from any alleged victim in the matter, and be able to get back to work, Your Honor. And any conditions that the court may feel comfortable with, we're willing to listen to that as well, Your Honor.
Okay. So for the battery substantial physical harm, $1,000 good. For the theft, a $500 good, making for a total of $1,500 good. No further contact with Ms. Howell. Stay away from the Cascade Road address. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond.
Thank you, Your Honor, for your time.
All right. Good luck to you, Mr. Brazil.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Your Honor, that concludes my business. May I please be excused?
Yes, have a good afternoon. Thank you.
Thank you as well.
Sewell, Mr. Thomas Sewell,
Okay. Good afternoon, Mr. Sewell. This is, I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir.
Thank you. You've been charged in case 22 CR 0009028 with battery. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
7 total. Last arrest was July 2021. Disorderly conduct out of Clayton County. 2019 trespass obstruction convictions. 2014 FTA not prosecuted. 2012 burglary in the first, dismissed. 2009 trespass. And a 2009 disorderly conduct obstruction. Thank you. Recommend it.
Okay, Ms.
I'll
Vaughn?
take him. I'll take him, Judge.
Okay, thank you.
Your Honor, this incident happened when the victim Peter Schultz met with the officers on February 21st and informed them that the defendant had actually come to his apartment and struck him in the face several times. The officers then relocated to question the defendant about the incident. The defendant actually admitted to striking the victim several times in the face and claimed that he had done so because the victim had been sitting in front of his apartment after he had asked him not to sit in front of his apartment. This all occurred at 37 Wadley Street, Northwest. And after, realistically, Your Honor, the only reason that the defendant gave was that the victim was sitting in front of his apartment. He never indicated that if victim in any way had tried to initiate any aggression towards him or attack him in any way prior to him attacking this victim and punching him multiple times in the face. It is also worth noting that the victim did have to be transported to the hospital. The recommendation on this is a $3,000 surety bond. No further contact with Peter Schultz. That is Peter, common spelling, Schultz, SHOALTS. We are also requesting a 1-day anger awareness. And I did leave out the victim did have a laceration above his left eye as a result of the attack. There is that, again, FTA. I'm showing 2012. And we have a 2021 disorderly conduct with pretrial pointed out, which has been bound up to state court. I did have an opportunity to check on that case, and it was moved from magistrate court to state court and is still pending. And for those reasons, that is why we are asking for that surety bond.
The disorderly is pending?
Yes, Your Honor, it is still open and pending in Clayton County and was bound over to state court.
And 37 Wadley Street, is that Mr. Sewell's address or
37 Wadley Street Northwest is actually the address for both of them. Mr. Schultz is going to be, let's see, let me just make sure. I believe Mr. Schultz is apartment, let me just double check. I believe Mr. Schultz is the apartment 21. Is where Mr. Schultz was. I believe that is correct. But it does state he is the neighbor of Thomas Sewell. So that is why I think that's the only reason the state could not realistically ask for a stay away order from the entirety of the apartment complex, because they are actually neighbors, which is why we're asking for no further contact, but not a stay away.
Thank you. Ms. Kim?
Yes, actually, yeah. He lives in 22. It's like right next to each other. If he was mentioning that he was actually evicted by apartment complex, so he needs housing. So we would like to request for social workers assistance to have the housing if that's the case. He needs one-time escort visit to his old apartment to take the personal belongings. And he has been here in Georgia for 2 years, and he works as a box movers for about 10 years. He graduated from college, and I don't think he can afford $3,000 surety bond. Maximum he can do is $400 surety bond, Your Honor. Thank you.
And Your Honor, if he has been evicted from that apartment complex, then the state would ask to modify our bond with an additional request that he stay away from 37 Wadley Street, except for with that one-time police escort.
Okay. I want to be able to monitor him, so it's going to be a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial, 1-day anger awareness class, one time, still no further contact with Mr. Schultz, stay away from the Wadley Street address, 37 Wadley Street. He can have a one-time escort to go back there to retrieve any belongings that he may have, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Ms. Kim, I'm making this since you presented to the court that he no longer will be residing at the Wadley Street address, and therefore would have no reason to be back at that address if he's not living there.
Just in case, if he's not really evicted, is it possible for him to have a no further contact in that case?
Say it again.
He has to verify his eviction status. He believes he was evicted, but I didn't hear about, writ of possession for him to be actually dispossessory. I don't know. He didn't know about dispossessory action. So I would like to actually verify that he is really, really evicted.
Okay. Let's see. Well, if he's not evicted, then he can go back. If he is evicted, then he can go back one time with an escort.
Yes, Your Honor.
Is that fair, Ms. Falk?
No objections from the state, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Good luck to you, Mr. Sewell.
Mr. Derek Strother, we're missing somebody. No.
Good afternoon. Charlie.
Good afternoon. This is, who do we have here?
Derek
Mr. Strother, or Strother, Your Honor.
Okay.
It's the last position.
Position 10, thank you. Good afternoon, Mr. Strother. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video? He's on mute.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Okay, I'm still muted.
No, you're not.
No, you're fine, I can hear you.
Oh, okay, good afternoon, Your Honor. Yes, I do agree.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Strother, you've been charged in case 22 CR 000905G with driving under the influence of alcohol, less safe, reckless driving, willful obstruction of a law enforcement officer, possession of an open alcohol container, and driving without a valid license. Does he have a history, Mr. Howard?
21 total, between Georgia and Florida. Last arrest was 2018, probation violation, Cobb County. 2017 DUI, endangering a child by DUI. Those were convictions. 2011 DUI arrest. 07 DUI dismissed. 06 battery family violence conviction. We had a DUI from 1997. Arrest, 1993 DUI conviction. I think that's it as far as DUIs.
All right. Ms. Falk?
Yes, Your Honor. This incident actually happened on February 14th, 2022, although the defendant was not actually arrested until 7 days later. The officers responded to Officer R. Collar, who's an off-duty Chambly officer who conducted a traffic stop on the vehicle being driven by the defendant. As your honor knows, even though this is an off-duty officer from another county, he is empowered to stop a vehicle or to stop a person he believes is actively in the commission of a crime. In this situation, the officer actually observed the defendant crossing over lanes recklessly, lanes of travel, tailgating vehicles, and speeding on I-285. He believed, our belief is that believing he was intoxicated, he performed a stop on the defendant at that point. After being stopped, the defendant admitted to Officer Collar that he had been drinking and then tried to snatch his license away from Officer Collar and flee the scene. At that point, Officer Collar and the defendant became engaged in a physical altercation. And when Officer Collar attempted to stop the defendant then walked away from the scene, leaving his car behind and his license. At that point, the officers who are from that area came over and were able to run the license, find out that the defendant was actually unlicensed and that license was no longer valid. They also determined that there were signs of intoxication, both based on the information that Officer Collar provided, as well as there were small open mini bottles of alcohol all around the driver's seat of the vehicle. So based on all of that, the defendant was charged accordingly with the offenses of reckless obstruction, open container, driving without a valid license, and DUI. As you have heard, the defendant's history is from both Georgia and Florida. We're showing no valid license conviction in 2009. We're showing a DUI that was dismissed in 2007, as well as a DUI in 2011 with no disposition. There was an arrest, but we cannot find disposition on that case. But the thing that concerns the state the most, Your Honor, is this prior DUI and about 4 counts of child endangerment was then pled out in 2018 in Cobb County to just 1 count of child endangerment, 1 count of DUI, and the defendant received 35 months of probation in Cobb County and then was revoked on a probation revocation in 2019 on that case. So the state does have some concerns about the defendant's noncompliance. The fact that he did flee from the officer in the middle of a traffic stop for possible DUI and just left the scene, left his vehicle, and had to be captured 7 days later. We are also very concerned about that previous DUI and his other DUIs, even the ones where they were later adjudicated without a conviction. For those reasons, we are asking for an $8,000 surety bond. That is a $5,000 on the DUI, a $1,000 on the reckless and the obstruction, and a $500 on the open container and driving without a valid license. We are further asking for no driving during this time unless he has a, I'm sorry, I'm blanking on the word, unless he has a valid license, let's just say that, since he doesn't have a license at this time. And we are further asking for alcohol, drug evaluation and treatment. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Ms. Bach. Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Strother is 50 years old and he has his family here in Georgia. He has been here for 30 years. He has a son who is 15 years old. He has been a single mom ever since his son was 2 years old. Her son lost his mom at 2 years old, and because of his tie to the community, I don't think he is a flight risk. And he graduated from college doing network engineering. He has his own company to provide financially for his son. He has parents, siblings, all here in Georgia. We believe that my client claims that he was not actually drunken. He thought it was a stranger who was trying to attack him. That's why he ran away from the scene. So we would like to assume that he is innocent, and we would like to request for just $1,000 signature bond, Your Honor.
Okay, anything further, Ms. Falk?
No, Your Honor.
How did they get the vehicle? I mean, did he come pick the vehicle up? Do we have any information? You say that he wasn't there, but apparently he must have left his vehicle there. Did they impound that? And how did he get that back?
He did, and I'm not clear that he has gotten that back. I can't actually answer that question, but he did leave his vehicle at the scene, Your Honor.
Right. I'm just wondering if, if it were me and I left my vehicle because I was afraid for my life, at some point I would have called the police and tried to find where my vehicle was, right? But,
I came back to.
okay, hold on, Mr. Schroeder. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. I'm just trying to get some information to kind of fill in what your lawyer has said for me, but it might be best if you remain silent because whatever you say can be used against you, okay?
Okay. Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. So with that said, it's going to be a $3,000 good bond for the DUI, $500 good bond for each of the other charges, which is going to make for a total of a $5,000 good bond. No driving without a valid license, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. All right, good luck to you, Mr. Schroeder.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Come on, Mr. Pierce.
Thank you, Ms. Kim. Ms. Walt. Good afternoon, how y'all doing?
Good afternoon, sir. I'm sorry, who do we have? This Mr.
I'm sorry, Shaymon Pierce.
Pierce? Okay.
Sure.
Good afternoon, Mr. Pierce. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Sir.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Pierce, you've been charged in case 22 CR 000901C with theft by taking. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
31 total between Georgia and South Carolina. Last arrest was November 2021, probation violation. He's on probation for felony obstruction. His history is a lot of trespass convictions, entering premises after warning. That's South Carolina's shoplifting convictions in his history as well. It's extensive.
Ms. Falk?
Yes, Your Honor. In this case, this actually occurred yesterday at 30 Alabama Street at the MARTA station. An officer was flagged down by an unknown patron who pointed to the defendant and said he saw him take the property of a female who was entering the elevator. The officer looked at the defendant, kind of memorized what he was wearing, and saw that he was carrying a blue backpack as he was exiting the MARTA station. The officer was then flagged down by Megnan Wu, and that's MEGNAN Wu, W-U, who stated that her backpack was missing and she noticed it was gone when she was at the train platform. Officers took her back to the office, went to the CCTV, reviewed it, and saw the defendant taking the backpack, her blue backpack, off of her bike as she was going into the elevator, which matched what the unknown person who approached the officer stated before he had left. The officer then told Miss Wu to hang on, got in his vehicle, began canvassing the area, and actually saw the defendant at the Greyhound bus station going through the backpack that he had seen him carrying out of the MARTA station. The officer placed the defendant under arrest and recovered the backpack, which contained the wallet, laptop, and wireless earbuds of Miss Wu. While he was being placed under arrest, the defendant actually spontaneously admitted that he took the backpack from an Asian female. That admission, just so we're clear, was also recorded on body cam. So we do have a body cam recorded admission from the defendant. Just to focus on the defendant's thefts. So the defendant has a history out of South Carolina and Georgia. You've heard that from pre-trial. In the last 5 years, the defendant has had theft by shoplifting convictions out of Florence, South Carolina on April 3rd, 2018, April 19th, 2018, March of 2018, May of 2018, June of 2018, and August of 2018. He also then had a defrauding a restaurant or hotel conviction in June of 2018, and a larceny with a felony enhancement where he received 2 years probation on December 10th, 2018, all out of South Carolina. The defendant is also currently on probation for that willful obstruction, but he also completed probation on 19 SC 169851 in Fulton County for theft by shoplifting felony, with then, as pretrial has accurately stated, a probation revocation in 2021. So this defendant is no stranger to thefts. I will say this is the first time that he has actually stolen from someone's person rather than theft by shoplifting. So that does show a pattern of escalation. We are asking that based on his history of theft, as well as his lack of significant community ties, that we are asking for a $4,000 surety bond, no further contact with Megnan Wu, and that he be banned from all MARTA stations at this time, and that he also be required to attend an anti-theft course.
Thank you, Ms. Paul. Ms. Gant?
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Shimon Pierce is 21 years old. He has been in the Atlanta area for a period of time, Your Honor. We are opposed to the MARTA stay away. Mr. Shimon Pierce is residentially challenged, and MARTA is really his only means of getting around the city. He completed the 10th grade. He is unemployed and has been so since December of 2021. Therefore, he will not be able to make any bond. Your Honor, we are connecting Mr. Pierce to our social worker because he has some health needs that need to be addressed that may be contributing to some of his prior history, and again, to help with his residential issues. I am requesting a signature bond, Your Honor. If Your Honor determines that he is ineligible, then a low bond. And again, we are unopposed to no contact with Megnan Wu. However, we are opposed to the stay away. And Your Honor, I do not believe that Mr. Pierce will be able to afford the anti-theft class at this time. And again, for that reason, we're opposed to that as well. Thank you.
All right, so it's going to be a $500 good bond. Ms. Gant, you represented that you're going to have a social worker visit with him, and if we could also look into his helping him with housing. If I see him back on the SAP calendar in 2 weeks, if he has not bonded out by that time, to revisit. Stay away. No further contact with Megnan Wu. I'm going to have that he abide by any MARTA restrictions that MARTA has in place for him, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. All right. Good luck to you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
How much was that?
$500 good.
Next is Detavia Ferguson.
Mr. Ferguson's position number 3. Good afternoon, Mr. Ferguson. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Hey, how y'all doing? And yes, I do.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Ferguson. Doing well. You've been charged in case 22 CR 000903J with battery, family violence, and 3 counts of cruelty to children in the 3rd degree. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
24 total. I counted about 7 probation violations, 2 to 3 failure to appears. Last arrest was December 2020, probation violation, Forsyth County. 2019, simple assault, family violence, giving false names. Those were convictions out of Forsyth. 2015, possession of a knife or firearm during a commission, conviction. Misdemeanor obstruction, conviction. I think that's it. Because the rest of it is either driving with valid license, FTA, or probation violation.
All right, thank you.
Got a 2011 battery DV that was DWAP. 2011 simple battery, family violence, DWAP. That's it.
Ms. Guidry?
Yes, Your Honor. This event occurred yesterday at 904 Trestle Tree. That's TRESTEL Tree Court, Southeast Atlanta. Officers responded to the area. They learned that the defendant punched Miss Drenika, that's Drenika Harris, in the back of the head and slapped her in the face, leaving a small laceration to the inside of the victim's lip, which this occurred in the presence of her 3 children, that's I. Harris, T. Ferguson, and P. Ferguson. As of yesterday, the parties did live together. We're asking for a $4,300 surety bond for count 1, 4,000 surety, and for counts 2, 3, and 4, $100 each. No further contact with Janika Harris, a stay away from the incident location, 1-day anger awareness, and no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. This is largely due to the nature of the offense and the defendant's criminal history. As pretrial stated, he does have arrest for battery family violence out of 2011, simple battery family violence out of 2011, and a 2008 simple battery family violence. We were trying to ascertain more information on it. However, Troup County stated that the cases were so old that it was kind of hard for them to find the information on those. We do know that they were dismissed. However, that is a part of his criminal history. He has a simple assault family violence conviction and failure to appear, making him a flight risk. Given the defendant's criminal history in his arrest, he does have a risk of reoffending given those arrests for those battery family violences and simple battery family violences. So we are concerned that he will reoffend and that he is a danger to the community. So that's why we're asking for the stated recommendation.
Thank you. Ms. Gant?
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Datavia Ferguson is 32 years old. He has been in the Atlanta area his entire life. Therefore, he has ties to this area. We are unopposed to the stay away at 904 Treshtier Court Southeast, but however would ask for a one-time law enforcement escort to retrieve whatever belongings he may have there. Mr. Ferguson has an alternate address. He is disabled, Your Honor, and has been so for a period of time. He has various health issues, including a lung that was removed, which makes breathing quite difficult for him. He has completed high school and he was in college working on his associate's degree, but he informed me that the complaining witness, Ms. Danica Harris, poisoned him, which caused him to fall, and which later resulted in problems with his memory. He states that he has been trying to separate himself from Ms. Harris for a period of time. He denies these allegations. He states that on the day in question, she actually hit him. He was asleep. She grabbed the hammer in front of her 12-year-old child. The 12-year-old tried to actually help him and tried to get the hammer from Ms. Harris. He denies making any contact with her whatsoever. And he also states that the other 2 minor children, IH and PF, were not even in the same room. For these reasons, Your Honor, I am requesting a signature bond on Mr. Datavia's behalf. Yes, we heard about some history. However, I believe, Your Honor, that it is too remote. He is not a danger to the community. He was merely taking measures to protect himself, Your Honor. And again, we are unopposed to the no contact order, the stay away, and also we are unopposed to the 1-day anger awareness class. Thank you.
Okay, so it's going to be for the battery, a $700 good bond, for the cruelty, a $100 good bond each, making it a total of $1,000 good bond. No further contact with Ms. Harris. Stay away from the Trestle Tree Court address. He can go back to that address on one occasion with law enforcement to retrieve any of his belongings. Are any of those children his children, Ms. Gant?
Your Honor, he disputes paternity, so he is not requesting third-party transfer.
Okay, that's fine. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond.
What's the total amount?
$1,000 good.
Ain't no damn danger to society.
Mr.
Unless you got to pay, bro.
Mr. Ferguson, the judges ruled I advise you to remain silent, sir.
Yes, ma'am. I apologize for my disruption.
You got to shoot. That's a shooting. No.
Does he have a place to go, Ms. Gant?
He has an alternate address. Also, he has an alternate address. However, I neglected to mention that because of his Social Security disability, he no longer is connected with his caseworker, and we are referring him to our social worker to assist in that regard.
I've changed my mind.
All right, y'all still be quiet.
So courtroom 2, it's instead of a good bond, it's going to be a signature bond. And I know that he's not recommended, but I'm going to send him to pre-trial. 1-day anger awareness class. And then also the stay away.
You gonna raise the amount on it? Since it's a signature bond?
No, I'm not. I'm going to leave it at 1,000. All right, so Mr. Ferguson, I'm going to allow you to get out, but you're going to have to make sure to come back to court for your next hearing, okay?
Promise you I'm coming back, sir.
All right. Good luck to you, Mr. Ferguson.
Thank you, sir.
All right, we're completed here in courtroom 2, Judge Morrow.
All right, thank you so much. We appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
And I have Ms. Bridgewater in court with me today, and as soon as she is ready, we can go over the calendar.
Good afternoon. The reset date for the SAP calendar is March the 8th. And here we go. Position number 1 is reset to the SAP calendar with a $1,500 total good bond. Position 2 is reset to the SAP calendar with a $4,000 total good bond. Position 3 is reset to the SAP calendar with a $1,000 total SOB through pretrial. Position 4 is reset to the SAP calendar with a $1,000 good bond. Position 5 is reset further notice with a $1,000 SOB through the jail. Position 6 is reset to the SAP calendar with a $500 good bond. Position 7 reset to the SAP calendar with a $500 good bond. Position 8 reset to the SAP calendar with a $1,000 good bond. Position 9 reset further notice, $3,000 SOB through pretrial. And position 10 is reset to the SAP calendar with a $5,000 total good bond. Are there any?
Number 8, 1,500 or 1,000?
Position number 8, I have it as $1,000 good bond.
Pre-trial, it's 1,500 total because he has 2 cases on the calendar, is my understanding.
Okay. And number 3 is per judge.
Okay, I put per judge.
And
right there in both.
Reset further notice.
Yes.
All right. Well, this was quicker than yesterday. Thank you all.
Yes. Thank you, Your Honor. Have a good day.
Thank you.
All right. You'll have a good
Your Honor.
rest of the next time.
You.
Bye.
Bye-bye.